In this video, we are going to cover the basic principles of credit cards for beginners in 2022 and discuss how to use credit cards to increase your credit score. By the end of this video, you will have an understanding of some important credit card related definitions, you will understand how to read your statements, and lastly, you will understand the surprisingly simple secret of when to pay off your credit card to build your credit score. So, if you want to understand how you can use credit cards to improve your credit score and your overall wealth, you are in the right spot. Welcome back, Money Masters. It's another Finance Friday where we are flipping the switch on credit and debt to shed some healthy light on how you can safely use other people's money to achieve your dreams. As we mentioned earlier, today we are going to be talking about credit cards for beginners in 2022, which will help you find out both how credit cards work and understand how they can best be leveraged to grow your wealth. But before we dive in, I just want to let you know that on Saturday, we will be discussing the Automatic Millionaire. So if you don't want to risk missing out on that episode, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so that you can be notified of our next amazing video. Okay, with all that said, if you're like us and are totally committed to obtaining financial independence, then go ahead and tap that like button and let's get into it. What is a credit card statement? A credit card statement is the bill you're going to get every month. Depending on how you have your preferences set in your account, your credit card statement might be a physical paper you get in the mail or a PDF that you receive in your email. The credit card statement gives you all the important information you will need to manage your credit card. It shows you the total balance you owe, how much is due this month, and what expenses you are being billed for. To understand how to use this information to improve our credit worthiness, we must understand some of the key terms found in a statement. Let's look at each of these terms individually. Term number 1. Balance. The balance is the total amount of money you have borrowed and not paid back yet. This is the total number that you owe the credit card company and any extra interest you owe. Term number 2. Billing cycle. The billing cycle is the period of time for which you are being billed. Generally, the billing cycle lasts roughly 30 days and is started and finished by an open date and a close date, which we will discuss in a moment. It is during the billing cycle that the expenses from the purchases you make with your credit card accrue and are added to your balance. Term number 2. Open date. The open date is the first date of your billing cycle. On your credit card statement, it is often found at the top right-hand side of your statement. It's important to note that this isn't necessarily the first day of the month. You could have a billing cycle that runs from December 15th to January 14th. And in that case, the open date would be December 15th. Meaning any transactions before the 15th would have been on your previous statement and any transactions on or after the 15th would be on current statement. Part number 3. Your close date. Your close date is the last day of your billing cycle and, like the open date, isn't always going to be the end of the month. Any transactions made after the closing date will be added to the next bill since the next billing cycle starts immediately after the close date. Part number 4. Your due date and minimum due payment. Up next is your due date, which is the day on which your debt is due for payment. By then, if you want to completely avoid interest, you should pay the full debt either on or before your due date. Otherwise, any late payments will have some added interest on them, so keep that in mind. The due date also tends to be around 20 to 25 days after your close date, so you still have some time to make those due payments if you're ever worried about missing them. There's also the option of paying your minimum due, which is the smallest amount you can pay for the on-time payment. This payment won't be charged interest, but the rest of the balance that you fail to pay will. So, if you want to avoid paying anything extra in interest, it is a good idea to pay off your entire balance in full. The best time to pay your credit card bill. Now that we have a grasp on the different parts of your credit card statement, we need to talk about the best time to actually pay your bills. The answer to this question is that you should pay your bills after your close date, but before your due date. Before your due date gives you time to make use of your credit card to the fullest, while still being able to pay off your debts while minimizing the financial detriment associated with paying the minimum due or outright missing your payments. There are also other reasons to pay during this period, which we'll discuss shortly. Keeping your credit score higher while using more than 30% of your credit card. Now you're probably curious about how you'll be able to increase your credit score while also making use of as much of your credit card limit as you want. The idea behind this trick is based on the fact that credit card issuers only report credit results once a month to the credit bureaus, and that's on the close date of their billing cycles. Meaning, if you can keep your credit utilization below 30% until after the close date, since going above that would be detrimental to your credit score, then you'll be able to use the rest of your credit limit during the grace period your issuer provides you without lowering your credit score, since credit bureaus only have the snapshot of your credit balance on the close date. As long as you pay your balance on or before your due date, you'll get off scot-free. How did you find our suggestions for increasing your score through your credit card in this video? If you have any suggestions or feedback, leave a comment down below. The reason not to pay off your credit card balance immediately after making a purchase with it. Conversely, because of how issuers report to the bureaus, it's also a bad idea to immediately pay off all your debt the day you incur it. Because having a $0 balance in your credit card by close date will result in the issuer reporting to bureaus that you have $0 in your balance, which looks like you haven't been using your credit card, hurting your score. It's best to wait until the closing date to clear your debts with your card issuer so that your credit score is preserved or improved. Now, we know that leaving your debts unpaid can be a touchy subject, so we'd like to know your thoughts about the topic. Do you agree with our thoughts on it? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to start the discussion on it. How to get around small credit limits. Lastly, if you're worried about your small credit limits, you can also take advantage of the fact that you can pay your debts off any day you want, and without having to worry about interest as long as it's within your billing cycle or grace period. That'll help you curb your credit limits, allowing you to circumvent your credit limits by allocating a few dollars every day to paying off your debts. And that's all the tips from our guide on credit cards for beginners in 2022 that we have for you in this video. We hope you learned some very helpful insights from what we've shared with you today. Please don't forget to leave a like on our video if it was able to help inform and positively influence your financial decisions and lifestyle, and leave a comment down below about how you feel like this video will help you boost your overall income. Also, if you love our content, subscribe for more Money Masters content and updates, and so that you don't miss out on our next episode of Saturday Storytime, where we will be discussing The Automatic Millionaire. Also, we'd like you to consider sharing this video with at least one friend. It would mean the world to us if you would join us in our mission of helping good people like you keep more of what they earn and earn more from what you keep. That'll be all from us in this video, Money Masters. We'll see you in the next video.